today on Faithfully Fantasy.
So I'm going to tell you what Rebecca Yarros said. She also gave us some Easter eggs, and we got a bit of an intro or a bit of a partial scene of Onyx Storm. She was also asked who her favourite dragon was, and she didn't even take a breath. She was like 10. Is worrying because she kills people that she really likes. Stabs someone in the back.
The answer was Sagael.
Sagael. She said, "What? Haven't you guys read the books?" And I don't think Sagael has stabbed anyone in the back yet. She said, "Always be worried, that is all." And then she was asked later if Riddick could have a spin-off series, and she said, "I've already told you, always be worried, that's all."
Yeah, that doesn't sound good for right now.
And Anna has a moment in Onyx Storm, so we get a little snippet of a scene in Onyx Storm where Violet says,
Hello and welcome to Faithfully Fantasy,
the husband and wife podcast talking all things Iron Flame.
Today we have a special episode.
Yeah.
Normally we have 5 chapters at a time from Iron
4 chapters at a time.
4 chapters at a time. But today we're gonna cover the latest visit of Rebecca Yarros in London, the past August 30th. I think it was.
I was lucky enough to be in the audience at the Union Chapel in Islington, where Rebecca was interviewed by Sienna Smart, who was fabulous. She is also an author, and how quickly I added one of her books to my cart.
That's something that we're going to talk today, because not everyone had a Rebecca Yarros experience, so you had the chance to be there, meet some interesting people, be around this environment.
Yeah, like being around so many Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, Onyx Storm to come, basically Empyrean fans, Rebecca Yarros fans, was so good. And obviously, so I went on my own, slight childcare issue.
Yeah, no big deal.
But some really, really great girls basically took me under their fourth wing and looked after me for the night, and I'm so grateful for them.
Yes.
We had such good chats as well about theories and just basically how much we love Fourth Wing, the series, and how it got us all back into reading again after a little bit of a slump. So I'm going to tell you what Rebecca Yarros said, and I've already obviously spoken to you about it, so it's not new stuff, and you've had a bit of time to think, haven't you?
Yes, but I think before we start with this, just a little warning for the people who's watching this for the first time, that we're going to talk theories about the full books of Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. So if you haven't read Iron Flame, go get the book, read
Why
it,
are you
come back. Yes. So you've been warned.
Yeah.
And okay, what Rebecca Yarros says.
Well, I'm going to just give you a bit of a summary. Like, it was so good to hear. It was a bit of a mixed bag. So she talked a little bit about her process for writing, which was super interesting, and I think for you will be really, really interesting. She also gave us some Easter eggs, and I've watched a lot of Rebecca Yarros interviews, and there wasn't a lot of things that she said that she hadn't already said somewhere else. But there were a few things, and Sienna was really, really good at trying to get little spoilery bits.
Trying to get some more information.
Yeah, and we got a bit of an intro or a bit of a partial scene of Onyx Storm. So I can't wait to share that. That was really exciting. We've also got the audio for that bit. We're going to be sharing as much of that over the next week as we can. We did have a few audio issues, so we're going to share as much as we can.
Yes.
But it was filmed in an amazing venue, so or it took place in an amazing venue, but the sound wasn't fantastic because it was quite echoey in a large church area. But yeah, we'll do our best, won't we, to share as much as we can. The first question that Rebecca was asked was around her interest in fan theories. How involved was she? Was she looking on Instagram? Was she looking on TikTok.
Yes.
And we've heard this from Rebecca before, that she doesn't like to hear fan theories because she doesn't want them to influence her writing.
Yes.
So she kind of went into that again and said how she didn't want to think, oh, that's a good idea, or somebody's guessed it, I'll have to change it now. Like loads of different things.
Yeah, I completely understand that, because for me, when I'm writing a book, I don't want to even share what I have so far to anybody, not even to you, because if I come with something else that is going to change completely the idea that I already have.
Yeah.
So I just want to, this is my idea, this is how it's going. Once it's done, then okay, there's maybe a few things they can polish, for example. But yeah, you don't want to be like somebody come with something that's going to completely change whatever you're doing.
The first one I ever saw, and like when I started to realize like this was gonna be a thing. Zayden had loved Violet for years because Brennan had like told him stories, and then like
We kind of thought that was quite like nice, but she said no, that didn't happen. Do you know how young she was? And she thought it was a bit creepy that people would think that, but it was only 3 years. Like,
I mean, he was
it's
a
6
teenager
years.
by the time. Isn't
Yeah, it's
it?
the same
So
thing. He's only 3 years older.
yeah, because I remember that when we were talking about it, I thought maybe Zayden knew a little bit about Violet, because Brennan had been talking about her maybe, and he was already with this picture of Violet on his mind, and then when she was in front, that maybe was like,
we're not talking about like
not
a
love,
whole
but
6 years ago
yeah.
either. It's just like maybe the past few years before he met her. So yeah, I thought, but she didn't like that one. So that definitely isn't.
it's a no.
You're killing a rider to steal their dragon. And I also wondered about that. Wouldn't the dragon just burn them? You know, like I'm killing you because I want your dragon. But what if the dragon doesn't want them?
you don't necessarily know the dragon will or the dragon won't. The dragon might respect that you were cunning enough to kill their rider. You don't know, it's like a gamble. But when that bond is still weak, like in the week after thrashing or so, there's that opportunity to say, if I do kill you, maybe. And sometimes maybe is better than no. Yeah, right.
Rebecca got really excited. So you can clearly see how much she loves this world and how much she loves the dragon lore. And it's not like she's a romance writer, and she said that so many times. Like she's a romance writer at the heart of, and that's the basis of what she's doing.
Yes.
But the magic, like she was really excited as soon as somebody asked a question about the rules of the magic.
Yeah.
So she spends so much time thinking about it. And so she said you just don't know whether a dragon will or won't. The dragon might actually respect that you're cunning enough to kill their rider.
Yeah, I was about to say that they just want to bond with the strongest. If somebody managed to kill the rider that you chose, then it wasn't the strongest, I thought.
Yeah, and it depends on the dragon, doesn't it? Because you have like you have an orange dragon who
They don't give a shit even if it had been years bonding.
Yeah, they're really fickle and unpredictable. Whereas you might have a green dragon, if they're really, aren't they cunning and, oh no, black dragons are cunning. They're really intelligent and logical.
Green ones, yes.
Yeah, so they might have a new rider who's really logical and intelligent and like more than the other rider, and they might have a better bond with them.
Yes.
She was also asked, like on the dragon subject, she was also asked who her favourite dragon was, and she didn't even take a breath.
Is your favourite dragon?
I'm not crossing parapet for anybody else. So unless like someone came to me and was like, he's waiting for you and he will say yes, I'm not doing it.
Later on, there was kind of an allusion to the fact that she liked black dragons, but she shut that down straight away. She just said, not Coda, I'm not interested in Coda, just want 10. And she said she'd only cross the parapet, like she'd be a scribe, she said, but she'd only cross the parapet if someone was like, he's ready, he's waiting for you, he's gonna be there, and he will bond you.
Yeah.
So yeah, she really likes 10, which is worrying because she kills people that she really likes.
For me, it's the same. When I was reading for the first time, talking with Violet, I found it so funny, like so hilarious. I was like, oh, this dragon is just amazing. So I was thinking about it. The only thing that I would ask her is, in her mind, what is the voice of Tern? If it is like kind of like creepy voice or more like deep Mufasa voice.
It's a casting question, and I know you've spoken a little bit about television anyway, and sort of what powers you do and don't have as far as casting and so on and so forth. So someone wants to know if you have a perfect casting, or are you more sort of looking forward to seeing reels and so on and so forth?
So, I mean, that's of course with the studio, and I do get emails every day, and I'm like, guys, that's the studio, man, I wrote that. But I will never say who my favorite fan cast is, because the cast is so diverse, and I want to open that up to more diversity. And I feel like the second I say who I think this character is, that's who everyone will accept, and only who they will accept.
She was the one who built the world, so who,
She could decide.
who better to design?
Yeah, but it's really clear that there's a lot of diversity in these books. And
Yes.
she often describes things, or you know how somebody is, but she doesn't say it on a page. So she never says Jacinia is deaf. She just shows that through the way that people communicate with Jacinia, through sign language.
Yeah.
So she doesn't shut down the diversity, and she's left it wide open. It is the most diverse fantasy book I've ever read. And she kind of said that the only thing she's really outspoken on is she hates whitewashing of Xaden. Everybody kind of makes him a tall, dark white man, but he is a person of colour, and she's quite openly against whitewashing Xaden. So hopefully her wishes will be respected in that. I think they will. I don't think she would accept.
Yeah, they will only respect the essential of the characters.
Yeah.
Because imagine if they come with Violet and she's half blonde instead of to be called Silver.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it should be at least a line that this is the adaptation of the book. So we do
She
our
was
best.
also asked how it was going.
Yes.
And she said that they're really respectful. Another really interesting question about the world that she got really excited about, and we've spoken about this, and I think you'll have possibly some more to say about it. I have a major theory around this as well. Mm-hmm. So she was asked what was the need for Basgiath to be so brutal and so cruel and so like a death factory. I think that's how
Has described.
Kat describes it, or somebody, one of the flyers.
Yes.
And she said it is overly brutal, and there's a scene in Iron Flame and they're talking about the flyers bonding, and they're like, oh, we jump off a cliff, and then the riders are like, and you fall and you die, and they're like, no, we just swim down the river and we pick a different major. That's what she said.
Yeah.
And she said it's there to question why it's so brutal. And we do have a clip of this that we can share here. She leaves it open. She does allude to the fact that there's more of a reason. She said it's there to question it. We get a little bit in Iron Flame about how Violet thinks it's there to sharpen the weapons. So the riders are the weapons, and Basgiath and the brutality is the stone that they sharpen them with.
Yes.
There's definitely more to come.
So she didn't say like a specific reason, just maybe sharing some thought that some people say this and that's like one of the reasons, but maybe leaving the door open to
she said
something else.
you're supposed to question it. So there is a reason, and it's a leadership reason.
Yeah.
So my theory about why Basgiath kills so many cadets is because we hear about the Venin targeting the flyers who do not bond a griffin, and then they turn them Venin. So I can see it. I can see there's a perfect picture. They're like hanging around at the bottom of the river waiting for the flyers to...
offering the towel. Oh, you want to now try something different?
Yeah. It's like, how can you let them get away with that? They've got all that power. Don't you want a bit of power? Don't you want a taste of the power?
You have more power with us than with us. Yeah.
Yeah, poxy griffins.
Yeah, the stinky griffin.
And then that very same thing could be that could be a fear of leadership, that people who fail to bond or people who fail to make it through the year, they can't just send them home because they had a taste of what they could have, but then they were so close but so far. So why not go and turn Venin? Some of the people would sell their soul for magic, and Mira even says she understands it.
Yes.
But yeah, nobody really knows what selling their soul is until they've done it, do they?
Yeah, we talk about it in one of the episodes. Was a really deep conversation about how do you know you're losing your soul if you never felt that, or you can't see it, but at least you can see the power.
It did sound like there was something more to come on that, and I like the idea that leadership are really scared that the people that would fail would turn.
It would be Venom, yes.
The only thing that makes me think that isn't possibly true, I always say a theory and then I second guess myself, is that they do let people get all the way to threshing, like Sawyer, who I'm going to talk about later, doesn't bond, then gets to redo the year.
They don't kill them, they live in another opportunity. Another opportunity to die or graduate.
Yeah, but what if they're so impatient? They see all their friends and move on to second year, get the power.
And
That is a reason why you might... Yeah,
What happens if you want to quit? Like, okay, I went to threshing, no dragon wanted to bound me, I don't want to repeat this whole thing again.
They might let you go to a different quadrant if you pass the exam. I don't know, it'd be a bit like, this is the problem, leadership might be scared.
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, I'm going now to be an infantry or healer, but in the background, I'm seeking for power now. Because that's like one of the main reasons some of the characters that we see so far, they turn into Venom. Most of them are just sick of power or need of power.
There was a really cool bit of the interview or the evening with Rebecca where there were quick fire questions about who's the most likely character to.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask you the questions that Rebecca was asked and see who you think is the most likely, and then I'll tell you who she said.
Okay.
Yeah? Most likely to push a friend off a bridge.
Oh, I always think about Bodhi.
Bodhi.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
It's this thing that he can control sickness, and he's been kind of like in the shadows of Zaydan as well.
That's so interesting. She said Jack Barlow.
Jack Barlow, yeah, but he doesn't have friends.
That's exactly what Sienna said.
Yeah, like
She was
doesn't have
Jack
friends.
He does. He has Caroline Ashton.
No,
She
he
is
has alliance, but friends. It's not really a strong word.
He might be BFFs. Okay. Anyway, you can't say she's wrong because she wrote it.
Yeah, she said that. I take it.
So interested about Bodhi though. I need to hear more about your Bodhi theory.
Okay. Next question.
Most likely to dive in after a friend who was pushed off a bridge.
Riddock.
Riddock.
Yes.
She said Rhiannon.
Yes. Riddock as well.
Everyone
We
was
can
like,
be right. Why not?
the reaction of we've got this audio as well, so I'll share it. But when she said Rhiannon, everyone was like, yeah. It was like a collective from about 900 people in that place, and we all went, yeah. Write a poem about a love and give it to them.
Violet.
Oh, do you think so? She said Sawyer.
Sawyer.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know him that much to think that he likes poetry or he
he's
would
a
do it.
romantic though, isn't he? He's learning sign language so he can communicate. Like us, we learn.
Yeah, but he had like a nice time with Ray. So that's kind of like really just thinking about the moment and mentality, somebody that's like a romantic or...
Yeah, maybe.
Nah, don't know.
Maybe.
Okay.
Write a poem about someone else's crush and give it to them.
Riddock.
Yeah, that's what she says. She said it like, again, there was no pause. She was just like, Riddick. This one was my favourite one. And I think you know the answer to this because I already shared it. Stab someone in the back.
Yes. I would say Jack Barlow. But the answer was Sagel. Which it was really surprising. Like, what? Sagel? Like, what's going to happen on Onyx Storm?
And then she said, what? Haven't you guys read the books? And I don't think Sagel has stabbed anyone in the back yet. I think, like, who has she stabbed in the back?
Nobody. That's the thing. I mean, if somebody comes with a better theory or proofs about the
What did
second
we
complete-
miss? Someone tell us what we missed.
Yeah, because so far she looks so loyal to Zayden.
Yeah.
Well, so
and
far.
loyal to 10. She gets annoyed with Violet when Violet tries to save Zayden in Ressen.
Yes, so that it's my job. You have your job there is look
Yeah.
after Turn. So she like really logically she cares about people. Even in Zayden's point of view when Zayden was really concerned about Violet because she's been 3 days sleeping after she'd been stabbed. She was like trying to look after Zayden as well. That don't worry, she will be fine. And she was like really gentle with him. Even for him, was like she never been like that before. But I can't I can't recall anything. They make me think that a girl is a little bit.
No. So we've got some more of these to do. And then we'll come back to Sigil because there's another question about Sigil that she gave us. Another answer about Sigil she gave us. So this is where they start. This was funny. Character who deserves a happy ending.
Deserve a happy ending.
Liam deserved it.
For me, it was, I would say Sawyer, because, at the beginning for Wayne, I was thinking, this is going to be the typical guy they're going to put as a sample. They never bond a dragon. There's going to be always trying to never happen.
So happy for him when you bonded.
And then, I think everyone was happy when he kind of a red dragon, a swordtail. And then Iron Flame, when he lost the leg as well, it was like, this guy
It's fine.
just...
He's going to be like Hiccup.
Yeah.
He's going to make himself a leg. He'll be fine.
Yeah. But she say...
I mean, Liam deserved it. She's brutal.
I mean, that is hilarious, but at the same time, it's ouch.
Yeah. You might have seen this one as well because I commented on one of our reels today. Deserve the worst ending.
Yes, she say Colonel Athos.
She said Varish, and then she said maybe Dane's dad, but we haven't found out why he did what he did yet, but that means that means there's no redemption.
Yes, that he's going to end in the same way the Barish dead by one of these.
I mean, we know
guys.
he's bad, and he is the one that I personally hold responsible for Liam's death, and I will never forgive him. But he is doing something super sus, isn't he?
Yeah, we've been talking a couple of times about he's definitely working with the Burning, but we don't know how deep is the relationship. So maybe it's more than one would think. And Varish was just child play.
Yeah, maybe Dane. But why was he so close to Lilith? So many questions. Anyway, she said other than that, so Varish and Dane's dad, they're the only people she said. She said other than that, they are all just doing the wrong things for the right reasons.
For the right reasons.
Wait. The wrong things for the right reasons. Yeah, so Dane, for example, she gave that as an example that Dane was trying to, he thought he was doing the right thing, but he trusted his dad.
Kind of like betrayed Violet, but he thought that he was doing a favor to her because she doesn't know Zayden.
Yeah, and he
was
just
doing
trusted
something dodgy.
his dad would sort it out.
Yeah.
And his dad was in on it all along. Who is most likely to lie for selfish gain?
Zayden.
Yeah, she said Zayden. Has Zayden lied? Or maybe not to Violet.
That's the difference, and there's such a Zayden thing to say. He said that I never lie to Violet. Doesn't say that he never lied to other people, or he doesn't lie to lie. He's a shadow wielder, so he's always,
But for
saying
selfish
something.
gain, this is where I don't know if I understand why that was Zayden. Like, she's obviously right because she wrote the character and she knows what he's going to do. But I'm like really sad for Zayden on that because I know why he would lie, but lie to put the rebellion first or to do something for the rebellion.
No, I think
but
it's
why
more.
is it selfish?
It's more think about himself. So if he has to lie to somebody to be with Violet or have like a happy ending or something, he will do it.
Yeah, I guess he did
So
say
he will
that,
do
didn't he?
anything for her,
Well-
and that could be selfish.
Remembered, going back to that deserve the worst ending thing.
Yes.
She didn't say General Darramore. Did I say that already?
General Darramore.
She didn't say General Darramore. Oh, obviously people are supposed to think he's already
He's
dead.
dead, yeah.
But she didn't say the general or the maven
Mm-hmm.
of the Venin. She said, other than that, other than Varish and Dane's dad, Dane's dead. Other than Varish and Dane's dad, they're all just doing the wrong things for the right reason.
Yes, but we think about the general, the Venins, as Darramore, that he's still alive, or at least somebody that has been
Yeah.
from the time, because we're talking about somebody that's been waiting for Violet for centuries. So she can't give her all the surprises.
Yeah, but
she need to keep it.
But she could have just said the maven of the Venin, the leader of the Venin. He or she deserves the worst death.
Maybe the guy is doing the right thing.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's weird, isn't it, that she didn't
Yeah,
say...
I don't know if I would have been talking this in this episode or on the background, but I said a couple of times that Darramore could be the Fen Ryerson of
Yeah, I don't
600
know.
years ago. Somebody that everyone blames for everything, but maybe it's the one
No,
that
he was channeling. Like, what was he doing?
need power.
To do
That's
what?
always the thing.
Maybe there's something worse than them.
Maybe they blame Darramore, but actually was one of the 6 riders, the
Yeah.
General Devanin.
Warwick. I don't trust Warwick. He lied.
Yeah, so
He lied so badly as well. It's like the 6 and the 1, they'll never figure it out.
yes, clever.
Right. Person most likely to kill someone and cover it up.
I imagine.
Oh.
I mean, she had the power to do it easily.
She said Caroline Ashton.
Caroline. Yeah. I mean, she was really best friend of Jack
With
Barlow, I
Jack,
guess.
yeah. So he does have a friend. You just admitted he has a friend.
I mean, I can't go against Rebecca Yarros. So she said
No, you said Jack didn't have a friend. I'm being so petty. Eat something they're allergic to.
Jack Barlow.
Yeah,
Oranges.
oranges. Die stupidly. And I loved this because she was obviously trying to get a hint of someone who was going to die.
Grey Duck.
No, she said Prior.
Prior.
Yeah, do you remember? He was in
Stupidly.
4th Wing and he was basically being an Billy Big Balls, wasn't he, in front of the dragons?
Yeah.
And I just-
So it's
Tries
people
to
that
do
have died
something
already.
stupid.
Okay.
Well, yeah, she went back. She was very clever.
Taking
She went
everything.
backwards. Survive being corrupted by dark magic, and then she she was trying to get the hint that it was going to be Satan. Who did she say?
Has to be Satan.
She said Jack.
Jack.
Survive being corrupted. By the way, I think she was joking. I don't know. That's a weird one.
I mean, maybe Nolan find a way to turn him back to be a human after so much work on him.
Yeah. I'm kind of just going in order of the things that she said, and I obviously won't capture everything. She gave a really good explanation of Violet, and she said that Violet was totally different. Writing Violet was totally different in 4th Wing as it was Iron Flame.
Where her feet are planted in confidence in 4th Wing is a false foundation. And so having to rebuild a foundation in Iron Flame so that she can stand stronger and she can be like, now I know what's happening and I've got it and I can go and I can adapt. So that's kind of like where I look at character arcs is trust and growth and, you know, where do I have to go? And if you're perfect, you get killed. Liam! Well, he's perfect! That's why you love him! That's why he had to die!
She said that Violet's not perfect. If you're perfect, you get killed. So that for me means Violet isn't going to die. Because...
I mean, there's still 2 more books to go, so
Yeah,
before she dies in Onyx Storm. Good luck trying to sell the others too.
Yeah. So then she moved on a little bit to Kat.
Okay.
Catriona.
I love Kat.
Okay, yes.
Don't start with me. No. Kat is amazing.
Yeah.
Instead, flip her in your head, make her a boy.
Yeah, I'm literally going to mention Beyonce's If I Were a Boy or Taylor Swift's If I Was a Man, or whatever that song is called, you know? Like, so, I've seen you mention feminism with her character, and there's a certain taboo, a disservice, perhaps, that two women can only fight for the affections of a man. So I thought of those songs when it came to her. So why was she an important inclusion for you? You love her. Why?
I love her because she has been promised this crown. She's been promised, I mean, not that there is a crown, but you know what I mean. She's been promised this title. She's been promised this life. And then it's taken from her. And by God, she's going to go get it back. This is hers. This is what has been promised to her. It's what she's worked for, what she has sacrificed for. And she's not going to stand by while someone else just takes it. Except for she kind of has to, because you can't force someone to love you. But by God, it's power. Kat is after that power. And if it was a man doing the same exact thing, would not get half the crap.
And she said, and God, is she going to go get it back? So she's not going to give up. So it's not
finished.
No, even though at the end of Iron Flame, she's...
It's going to be kind of like... Well, she feel like respect by Violet. That's like the thing that you get.
Yeah. Also, she's just doing her best to help. Like, she gets Sawyer to the hospital, to the infirmary, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And she also messes with that Venon's head. She like escalates emotions, so she gets like, "Oh, I'm gonna take over the world," and Dana bites her head off. I think. Should read that bit again.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she's not gonna. She's worked really hard for it. I don't know if she has worked really hard for it, but she's worked really hard for that, and she's sacrificed a lot, and she's not gonna stand by and let someone else take it.
I wonder why the sacrifice, because of what the only thing she had done is having sex with Satan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so massive sacrifice. Yeah, poor little thing.
So Kat's after the power, and she basically said if it was a man doing the same thing, like, I'm gonna go get this crown, this was I deserve this, no one would actually...
Yeah, like, if I was opposite, it's like, that woman is mine and I'm going to fight for her, or whatever, then...
He'll be romantic.
Yes. But it's a woman doing it, and then it's she's just...
yeah. It's double standards.
Yeah.
Then, so a bit more of a character deep dive on Xaden. There was a question about the fact that she'd previously, in another interview, compared him to a CIA agent. And do we think that is, like, his secrecy is a flaw that will lend him strength? And will it ultimately lead to his ruin? And this was so interesting. So she talked about, this is where I think Truthsayer was hinted at, but I don't know. I'm obviously just making the puzzle pieces fit at this point because I'm on the hill.
So invest already.
Yeah, that she's a Truthsayer. Although there was loads of other really good mentions of signets, like Distance Wielder, but she said you've got two characters in Violet and Xaden who are phenomenally different.
You have two characters that are so phenomenally opposite, where Xaden has to keep everything close to the vets. He's running a rebellion, and he's running these weapons, right? And you have a character who needs to know everything. That's she's trained to be a scribe. It's in her DNA at that point to need to know everything. And how do you make that work?
Such an interesting foil, especially for a romance pairing, where often one will sacrifice for the other, so they get together. But in this instance, it's that friction.
In this instance, it's like you have to trust me. You have to trust that, I'm never going to hurt you. You don't have to tell the information as long as you can trust me. And I think, being married to a guy who couldn't exactly come back and tell me what his missions exactly were, but it's you have to develop a certain level of trust, but it's a really fun point of friction, and it's a fun point to when she's finally like, cool, I can trust you, and at that point he can trust her with the information.
Too little, too late.
They're at the end of Iron Flame. They're pretty solid. They're pretty solid, and then dude's got to go get some contacts.
And then she said, but at the end of Iron Flame, they're pretty solid. And then dude's got to go get some contacts. But we obviously have this missing scene between when she finds out that Xaden turned Venom.
Yeah.
And when they're sleeping next to each other. But they're pretty solid.
I mean, that's what we know. They were sleeping together in the same bed. what I think everyone is just assuming is they get sleeping after having hours of sex like they normally do.
No.
But maybe they were just fighting or whatever.
Well, I don't think so. I don't think they'd be up for that after a war. I don't think anybody's assuming that. Maybe you are.
No, but it's been a couple of times. It's just because they are alone and because they never had an opportunity, then just, okay.
No, they just fought a war. Like, lawyers had...
And I know, and Violet just lost her mom.
Yeah,
so
no way would they be doing that. They're just sleeping next to each other.
Yes, but that's what I mean. Maybe Violet just fall asleep because everything is against her. Like, she lost the mom, Satan's turning to heaven, and she doesn't know what's going to happen. Maybe she just got tired, so they were maybe fighting. She got tired, or she just slept in the bed, and he just staying next to her because he couldn't sleep. And that is how it started.
Maybe she couldn't keep...
they're fighting.
No, yeah, I think they fought it out and it had a resolution. Mm-hmm. Because she said that at the end of Iron Flame, they're pretty solid. Mm-hmm. So they've obviously... Because she's obviously come to terms with that.
Yeah.
I just want that missing scene. I want somebody to write it. Like, Rebecca, please, write that missing scene.
Is it this a scene that, maybe I'm confused, that she wanted to include it, but then the editor said that, no, they like take a lot of the strength of the scene, so better to keep it like for the next book. So then it's just,
I think I've heard that, yeah.
So maybe Onyx Storm, right at the beginning is going to be day 2, when Violet just is face to face with Satan, and she can see the red ring in the eyes, and they start from there fighting or whatever.
Yeah. Most surprising reader favourite. So she was asked who is the character that you think that is the most surprising that fans love. Who do you think that might be?
Leon?
No, he was perfect. I don't think she was surprised. She did that on purpose. That was intentional. She made us fall in love with Leon Mari, and then she ripped our hearts
That's the thing,
out.
that maybe she was just creating a character, and then she knew that she was going to die and everything, and they're like, oh, they know that everyone was so in love with this guy. Oh.
No, so she said Auric.
Okay, so I love Auric. I love Auric. Honestly, like setting him in and making sure, like, you know, he was who he was coming into Iron Flame and knowing who he was coming into Fourth Wing. It surprised me that you guys loved him so much because he's not paged that much. Like, he's really not. So I was like, I thought I was going to have to work to make you guys like him. And if you guys liked him, I was like, oh, good. Okay, thanks. It's always like, I feel like we're having this conversation where I'm like, hey, you like this guy? Are we good? No, do I need to make you like him more? Okay, what's that? All right, I feel like we have this dialogue.
And she said, I love Riddick. He's one of my favourites. Yeah, and she'd already talked about the fact that if people are perfect, then she kills them.
Yeah, he's perfect. I mean, I think we talk about it in the scene when he's stabbed.
Yeah, with the arrows.
Yes, the scene that he's going to die. There was exactly like the same with Leon. Leon, there was a part that he's about to die. Violet intervened. He saved it, and then later on he died. So like the scene started repeating with Riddick. It's like he's about to die. Violet do something like pretend that she is fine, so Brennan doesn't heal her first because Brennan doesn't give a shit about Riddick. So he will go for Violet. So she does something to help and Riddick. So again, it's not given what Malik needs or Malik is claiming.
Yeah, it's kind of a pattern, isn't it?
Yeah.
But she also did another nail in Riddick's, a metaphorical nail in a metaphorical coffin for Riddick.
Okay.
One of the audience questions was, can we have a Riddick spin-off series? And she went all a bit funny, and she was like, I've already told you. I mean, don't trust me. And she's like, I can't remember. We'll have to try and dig out the audio for it.
It's not possible for X reason.
Yeah, it seemed like it wasn't possible for Riddick to have a spin-off series. She just kept saying, you shouldn't trust me. You can't trust me. It was a bit weird. And I felt like, I think everyone, that was, as we were all leaving, the biggest feeling was that Riddick's time, like his number is marked. Is that what you say? I don't know. His time is going to come to an end. I hope not in Onyx Storm. Just let him live a little bit longer, please, Rebecca.
So need to prepare just in case.
They all need to graduate. They said they're going to graduate together, and if God, it would be heartbreaking.
Yeah.
If Riddick doesn't, it'd be heartbreaking if Sawyer doesn't either. Right. Who do you want to talk about first, Sawyer or Sigale?
Let's go back with Sigale. We started with her already, so let's finish it.
So she is incensed. This is nothing new. She's said that before. She said it's a huge dynamic shift, and at the beginning of Onyx Storm, she's not talking to Xaden. She's so mad, and naturally that's going to fold over. If you have a significant other who's pissed off, or who's mad, I think she said, and it kind of wrecks your world, which means it's going to have a significant effect on Ten.
Yes. It could be a lot of things. I don't know if because Sigale is so mad with Seda, she will be able to kind of like stop channeling to him, so he can't use the sickness or any of the power that he get through her. Like,
that would make it worse, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Because then he'll have to channel from the ground.
Exactly. Maybe that could be like one of the reasons they're in a fight or something. He need the power. Sigale doesn't give it to him, and then he starts to channel it more, turning like more and more into a venom.
More and more into a Sith.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And she also said at the beginning of Onyx Storm, she's not talking to Xaden.
Yeah. So it could be that there's gonna be like a massive fight, a massive fucked up that's going to happen, but then either because Sigale or Satan do something, they go back to what it was before. But it's gonna be interesting who's gonna be like the one who's going to, let's say,
Break
like
first.
yeah.
Oh, it's so sad because they have like she chose him and they have like they have a really good relationship.
Yeah, but Violet chose him.
Yeah. But she must be talking to him by the end because she specifically said.
Yeah, just in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna find this really sad. So should we go to Sawyer then?
Yeah.
So Sawyer, she said Sawyer has a really interesting character arc, and she's been setting that up since Fourth Wing.
Yes.
And she needed to get that right, so she talked about her plotting process, which I'll tell you about afterwards.
Yeah.
But I wondered what you thought might happen to Sawyer.
I mean, Sawyer from the beginning, he was somebody that was it was outstanding. He was one of the first characters that you see that he went through all of that already. That was like the first thing that called attention about Sawyer, that he was repeating the year. So when finally he got the dragon, everyone was happy for Sawyer because it's like, oh god, he doesn't have to do this again. It's like finally he's going forwards because he failed, but he came back stronger. He was the first one to start manifesting a signet. Also, he was so desperate to bound to a dragon that he properly learned all the dragons that were then.
All 100.
All the 100. And even when the feather tail appears, he was like, no, it can't be because I know there's 100. Like, I know very well, so that feather tail can't be there. This has to be a mistake. So
he's very interested in feather tails, and I didn't realise this until I searched Sawyer. I said this to the girls I was sitting with. I am going to go home and I am going to search Sawyer for every single time he's mentioned in the books.
Yes.
He's really interested in Andana and the feather tails.
Yes.
So
I don't
many
know
mentions.
if there's a specific reason or just maybe because when he fell in the first threshing, he wanted to maybe learn a little bit more about all the dragons, and then he found out there's no anything about feather tails. There's no research apparently.
Yeah, well, oh my goodness, yes there is. It's in the museum. Yeah.
But yeah, so he get a red dragon, swordtail.
Sleek.
Like pronunciation is just
I think when I looked at how to pronounce it, it should be Slysic.
yeah,
But I don't know.
something like that.
Don't come at me if you can speak Scottish Gaelic. I definitely can't. I mean, with my hair and my name, I feel like I should speak some form of. No, my name is Welsh. That's not the same. I should speak some kind of.
Scottish thing.
No, I should. Yeah, my parents live
Just
in
because
Scotland.
you're ginger, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, apart that, he bonded to the dragon. Then he spent the night with Ree.
Oh yeah, one night stand.
Yeah, it's one night stand, but I mean the performance has to be really good because the next year he is basically Ree right
Yeah, are you
hand.
telling me you think Rhea is the type of person to promote somebody based on that?
I mean, I just leave it like that and just pointed out the facts.
So he
Maybe
is
Ree
executive.
wants something more. You want to keep it closer?
What I noticed about Sawyer in this like fly through was that, and it didn't jump out at me while I was reading it fourth or fifth time or sixth time or seventh time, but he's really protective of Violet. He's
Yeah.
really protective and supportive. So he's always the one cheering her on. He's always the one that is defending her. He offers to kill Kat
Yeah.
and bury the body. There's lots of little snippets about, and at the Gauntlet, he's so defensive of Violet. When Tynan says, "Doesn't it bother you that our wing leader is, our squad leader is sleeping with one of us?" When he's accusing Violet of like basically sleeping her way to safety, which is what Mira told her not to do.
Yeah.
Sawyer gets really mad about it. So
Yeah.
he's super protective.
He's a team player, definitely.
Yeah.
And he's serious as well. Because there's been like a couple of times that maybe they're just chilling out or doing something silly, and he's kind of like this guy that he just want to do the right thing, or he just want to go straight to the point, not messing around. And Riddick is like the one who giving that.
Yeah, and he gets annoyed at Riddick
nerve.
a few times. So, one thing I noticed was when Riddick makes a dick joke, and Violet or Jacinia is writing, even Sawyer laughs.
Yeah, so it's it's not normal.
Yeah, Sawyer doesn't normally laugh at dick
Yeah.
jokes. He doesn't normally stoop himself that low.
Yeah, to be honest, Riddick and Sawyer, they give me this kind of vibe, Chandler and Joey from Friends. Riddick being Joey, like that funny and not very intelligent character. And then,
So kind.
I mean, but it's
He's
funny.
really good at reading maps.
It's comedy.
Sawyer is terrible at reading maps.
Yeah, and Riddick is really
good.
good. Yeah, but it's comedy relief. It's called. But yeah, I wonder what's going to happen now in Onyx Storm with Sawyer, because the last thing that we know as well is that he lost the leg just below the
It's
knee.
pretty hard to be a rider, isn't it?
Yes. What I'm intrigued to know is what is going to be the leg that he's going to have. You mentioned it's going to hiccup, but obviously
It's got to be a metal leg.
yeah, exactly. It's not going to be wood, isn't it?
Although Sleeg, slice, or whatever you say, means wood, like chip, slice of wood.
Is it?
Yeah, in Gaelic, apparently. I don't know. I googled it.
I just hope there's not going to be wood because
You can't have a wooden leg.
there's going to be like a parrot.
Be flammable.
Yeah. Well, bad idea. A wooden leg next to a dragon.
He's definitely gonna have to have some kind of modification. And will Sleeg be okay with that?
I think he lost it because he was trying to defend his dragon. So
Yeah, he
it has to
kicked
be. Yeah, has to be. Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't know what a red dragon's like. Quite temperamental, aren't they?
Yeah.
Quite angry. Never look at one in the eye. And Violet talked to Sleeg, and that's another thing. Anyway, I want to know what she said. She's had to carefully set up his character arc. So obviously something big is going to happen with Sawyer in Onyx Storm.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what he's going to be able to do with that leg, because as a metallurgist that he is, can he just manipulate the metal, or can he like grab a piece of metal and then just make a massive thing? Or
So the only thing we've actually seen him do is bend hinges on doors. And
play with a fork?
oh no, he was worried about the fork, wasn't he? But the first time it manifested, he was having a sword fight. Sword fight, that sounds a bit naff. And the sword bent. He was miles off, but it bent around to hit his target.
Yeah.
So, but the only other thing, like, it happens 2 more times, and Violet's like, do your thing, Sawyer. So that's obviously his party trick, like bending doors off it.
Yeah, but that's just the beginning. But the signal gets stronger and it can develop. So that's the thing that I'm thinking. He maybe made from one piece of metal something bigger, or you know, something kind of like Terminator 2, the metal thing, and then create a massive stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see.
Can he do something with, like, the dragon's eggs? They're metal, and they got an alloy. The alloy. Could he do something with the wards? Do you think? I think he could manipulate wards if he gets good at it, because it does say he's getting better by the day, so his metal manipulation must be quite good, because she says he's getting better by the day, even though we only see him bending hinges. I wonder if he can do something with dragon's eggs and with the alloy.
Maybe the lead, he will gonna be like kind of alloy or something that's gonna be
venom
against
killer.
the so he had always something with him to make
I
a
hope he
massive
doesn't,
weapon.
because what worries me is, you know, I'm on this like bender where everyone's a venom. If you could just tell me a character, and I could probably make a theory that wouldn't sound massively unhinged that they could be a venom. So what worries me about Sawyer is, like, I'm really hoping that he isn't that one where Sleek doesn't see him as a rider anymore because she wants the strongest, the best, etc. She or he, I don't know, I'm assuming it's she. And this would be terrible, because he could definitely still be a really strong rider, even though he's only got one leg. What I'm worried about is perhaps she breaks the bond, or Sleek breaks the bond.
Because they're not going to be able to jump.
And then he's had a taste for power.
Turn into a venom.
Well, it would be a character arc. It'd be a really it would be amazing one. Like, it would be written amazingly, but it would be bad for all of us, because we're like, first Liam, then something bad happens to Sawyer. I don't know.
Yeah, and then maybe Jasenia told him that he doesn't like him anymore. And
no, Jasenia was super worried. Yeah, well, it's like a downhill spiral for Sawyer.
Pushing into the venom side.
I don't know what his arc is going to involve, but the fact that it's so important does worry me a little bit, because Rebecca's really, really good.
Yeah, because how are you going to be able to jump a building of how many floors is? Like 3 or 4? Jumping from a dragon? With just one leg.
Yeah, but he could work in the command center as well. You know, Xaden has those.
Yeah, somebody that maybe just tracking in the map or something more.
He'll still be a rider and still have a really good bond with the dragon. It depends on the dragon, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And now I'm going to go and read everything that we ever learned about red dragons. But red dragons seem really common. Loads of people have red dragons. Right. So she was asked, will someone be a distance wielder? Mm-hmm. She said, I don't know. There's a book coming out. You should read it.
Good answer. Yeah. Really useful.
Yeah, I think Oryx my distance wielder. I still think that. I think he did a little bit of it. But then, I don't know. I just want it to come out.
It's been mentioned, so it has to come.
Yeah.
Somehow, somebody will do that. And yeah, I think Oryx is like
a good contender.
Really, yeah, a good one for that.
Yeah, I think if it was Violet's signet, I do see that there is potentially some evidence. But if it was Violet's signet, it would be really, really amazing and impressive. It's a big signet, isn't it? It's another big one. And I'm pretty sure I heard somewhere she said, we'll all be disappointed. But I don't know whether she was just being like, it's definitely there. You'll all be disappointed that you didn't get it. I don't know.
Yes. And for Auric, it's more logical because in the court he just put in distance between his father, the crown, and all the royal thing. So he just want to be a rider, and riders they're flying, they're just moving. So for somebody like him, being a distance wielder, it will be really good call.
For Auric, yeah, I think he just needs the distance. At his core, he needs distance from his dad.
Yeah.
And the fact that Rebecca keeps talking about the fact that Violet needs knowledge, she needs truth. It's either, her signet either has to be some form of intrinsic ability, like you need to know something, or a truth. So yeah, or something similar.
Yes.
She needs information, so she's just like an interrogator. You can ask her. She asks a question and you have to answer it. She did kiss, marry, kill with Dane, Xaden, and Violet.
And I'm sure there's going to be an interesting answer about it.
So she surprised us all. We were absolutely stunned when she said kiss Dane. It's not going to kill Dane. And everyone was like, so you're going to kill Violet or Xaden? And her logic was flawless. I mean, she wrote the characters, so she's brilliant. But her logic was flawless. She said she would marry Xaden and she would kill Violet because she wouldn't be able to marry Xaden if Violet was still around.
Which
and
is
she was
totally
like,
logical.
Every night. I want that every night. She was asked why she chose to bring Liam back, and again, she's talked about this publicly.
Yeah. I'm guessing the people will ask her if there's Violet's second signet, if she can talk to dead people, or...
I just don't get why that's still hanging around.
Yeah, I still seeing that theory like constantly. It's like, wow, she's being disconnected from the dragon or from any kind of magic. So
and Anna wasn't awake at that point. So many things.
No, just the fact that she was disconnected from any kind of magic that she can generate from any dragon. That's it. She had no power, she had nothing there.
Yeah, so she said in that moment where Violet is at her lowest and she is tortured, it wouldn't be logical for her to hallucinate Xaden, who is still alive. Her mind is going to reach out for the person who was her protector, and that's who it was in that year, in the last year. It was Liam.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think, I completely understand that, because if I should start hallucinating with Xaden will be just saying like, come on, stand out, you can do a fight or whatever. She be like more strong. But in that moment, she needs just comprehension. She needs like somebody being soft and being with her, just being there.
Yeah.
And Liam was just the perfect one for that.
Yeah, before this interview, I thought that Liam was sent by Malak. I thought there was some connection between Violet and Malak and the gods. And it was kind of a kindness because there was something to do with Malak. But the fact that she says her mind would reach out for it, it was a hallucination. And I think that'll be the last that we see of him. I think we've already talked about this. Liam left behind a legacy of protection through these. I genuinely believe that there's something to do with his...
and the dragons.
Dragon carvings that is a protection or a willing you to carry on or something like that. So, like his mum made the runes, the protective runes.
Yeah, it could be maybe something like feelings or knowledge that he was putting into these figures, and then when she needed the most, he appears.
Well, she clutches the figure when they go back to the... When they go back to Basgaia, she clutches it, and then she all of a sudden has the strength to carry on. You were supposed to think that's because she's remembering Liam, but I think there's something magic. I think there's something to do. It's because his mum was so good at runes, and she put the runes in the stones that protected, that caused the rebellion relics. Yeah, I feel like he's done something
to protect.
Really clever. Yeah, with those dragon.
Yeah, definitely. There's something there. Yes.
Yeah. So 2 more things about that I remember about Empyrean. She talked about so going back to, there's another bit of evidence against Riddick making it out of the series. So she said she loves Riddick, and then somebody said, should we be worried? And she said, I mean, always. One thing that killing Liam does for you is it ups the stakes to show that I'm going to kill characters. She said it's war, and from her own personal experience, which is devastating. And you know that, like, she's obviously she grew up in a military family. At one point she was asked what came first, dragons or military, and she'd said that she was a fantasy fiction fan as a kid, and that's what came first. But her parents were both military. She married a soldier, so she wrote a fantasy book, but it didn't get picked up first. Mm-hmm. Then she wrote military romance, and that got picked up by a publisher. So she then became a military romance writer. But actually, she's a fantasy. Fantasy is her favourite genre. So yes. She's got so many ideas for the world. She said when she had to pitch Fourth Wing, she had to pitch 5 other completely separate fantasy ideas. Mm-hmm. And Fourth Wing was her 3rd idea. It wasn't even the top one.
Yeah.
And the publisher picked it because they liked dragons. So, yeah, what was devastating was that she said from personal experience is that we bury our friends in war.
Yeah. And
you can't... I do feel like sometimes... I felt this after reading Twilight, right? That we're going to have a Twilight spoiler if nobody's read Twilight. Just block your ears for about 30 seconds. I find it weird that no one dies. I mean, they are vampires, but like the dad, her mum, like nobody dies. You don't want characters to die, but you need an author who is brave enough to make you feel something. And Rebecca Yarros really makes us feel. She's incredible, and.
Yeah, you can go toward in being unrealistic.
Yeah.
That everyone's going to survive, everyone's going to have a happy ending.
Yeah, and I also think, like, I'm gutted, Harry Potter spoiler, that Fred dies. But also, he has to die. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't be real. Remus Lupin dies. Nymphadora dies. Tonks dies. Just should have inserted a spoiler warning.
Harry Potter spoiler alert.
Harry Potter spoiler alert. Can you edit that so it comes first? Yeah, I just feel like Rebecca Yarros knows, and with her other books, if anybody hasn't read The Things We Leave Unfinished, it is so good. It's one of the best books I've ever read. And she just knows how to write war. She knows how to add pain and devastation into a romance story and it's still beautiful. Yeah. And I just think she's brilliant. So, yeah, she said, always be worried, that is all. And then she was asked later if Riddick could have a spin-off series, and she said, I've already told you, always be worried, that's all.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good for Riddick.
Yeah. Okay, one more really good thing, and I think I said this at the start of the episode, so I've made people wait a little while to get to this good part. She let slip, I don't know if it was let slip or if it was planned, because she did say that she doesn't get a say in what gets said when, so she just has, the publisher tells her what she's allowed to say and what she's not allowed to say. Mm-hmm. And Anna has a moment in Onyx Storm, so we get a little snippet of a scene in Onyx Storm.
Yes. Where
Violet says, I can't fight you both, I just need you on my side. And Anna is like, I'm there. Ten is going on about how this is illogical and you're being stupid, but Andana is just there immediately for
she's
Violet.
Ready for action.
Yeah. And she's just there for Violet. Whatever Violet wants, she's in.
Yeah.
So we got a little sneak peek into a moment in Onyx Storm where Violet is fighting with Ten and Andana.
Like, why is logical? Where she's planning to go?
That's the Barrens.
The question. Fallon Seidan to the van in main quarters or something.
Maybe. Where is that? They took over the Cliff Payne Academy, didn't they?
Yeah. So
Cliffsbane, aren't they?
maybe Satan goes there because it's losing it. He's turning more into venom, and then Violet has to go to rescue him. Because I think that's in the trailer that now she needs to save his soul. And turns out, no, if you go there, they will kill you. It's illogical. And they're like, yes, let's go rock and roll. But brave the dark.
Yeah. What is clear though is she said the last scene of Onyx Storm is what she's been building up for, and she said in previous interviews as well that we're not going to be happy.
Yes, like I said, Onyx Storm for me is gonna be like the Revenge of the Sith in Star Wars. Is when everything's going chaotic, and then the bad guys are going to win, and it's gonna be horrible.
It's gonna end on. So I don't remember all the little references that Rebecca Yarros said, but at the end we were having a bit of a chat with the girls that I was sitting with, and we said what could be so bad at the end, and we were all thinking that a dragon is going to die, a major dragon.
If it's a girl or 10, we know that both of them, they will die. And will be that serious as good if we find out the turn of Sagel die.
Yeah, I think we'll...
Or maybe Sagel die, but something saves turn.
Yeah, I think that has to happen at the end of the series, doesn't it?
Yes. Ooh, maybe that's the thing. She said Sagel will be pissed off with Satan at the beginning, but then she will be dead.
She'll be dead at the end. Oh, we shouldn't be laughing.
Oh my god.
So that's all the Empyrean spoilers. Oh no, sorry, another one. Will there be a family betrayal?
And whose family? You've got so many families, like, good God.
It's anonymous, so they can't.
Yes, the answer is yes. Because there are so many families in here that yes.
So there'll be some kind of family betrayal. Yeah. And maybe you think that's Bodhi?
Yes, something about Bodhi. But again, why is that much reference about him looking at Satan? Could be maybe that the reason. He's half brother and he wants the Terrendor's throne, or have what Satan have.
Oh god, that would be rubbish. I wouldn't like Bodhi then.
Well, if he tries to kill Satan, I'm sure nobody would going to like him.
Yeah, but you're like, that's the if Kat was a man going after the power, that was like, I don't know, I still wouldn't like Bodhi. I'd still treat him the same. It's not double standards for me. She said the signet's definitely there.
It's in there, so it's in there. It's in there. It's in there so much that really my actor was like, you could really make this moment at the end of the book where you're like, and I was like, dude, no, they would have picked it up by then. Like, they would have like had this like internal like, this fits here, and look, this just happened, and it's like, I want to give them that moment. And that moment didn't come. At this point, I'm kind of enjoying like what your theories are, and like seeing, you know, like only moments like this. Again, avoid myself online. But it's in there a lot.
I mean, we might get it, just that we don't have confirmation.
Yeah, I'm totally convinced.
But then if in the end, and Onyx Storm, they say, yeah, she's a true Saiyan, we'll be like,
but she said again, it's based on the unique chemistry with her dragon and what she needs, like every other signet. But previously, she kept saying she's a person that needs the truth. She needs answers. She needs to know things.
She needs the truth. That's the thing that most put it out of her mad. She get really mad if she notices somebody's lying.
Yeah. But I think I'm probably trying to make the puzzle fit at this point. There was a question, if Xaden and Dane weren't the love interest, who would be?
Xaden didn't exist?
If Xaden and Dane weren't the love interest. Yeah,
I don't think Dane's ever a love interest. Dane is an image of what she thought she wanted. I mean, there's no story without Xaden. Like, that is, like, the pin of, like, that's where that sentence pitch I sent for Fourth Wing is them. Because to me, romance is at the heart of the book. I'm a romance writer, right? So relationships. Gosh, I don't know.
So you heard that right? There would be no book.
There would be no book without
Are you serious?
She said there is no book without Xaden. She's a romance writer. She said there's times she thinks that Violet could have had something with Auric, but there's complications there. And who wants a prince, she said. So there is no book without Xaden. She's a romance writer. She's already confirmed that Xaden and Violet are endgame. Xaden is going to make it through, is what I took from that.
Yes, unless until the beginning of the fifth book.
Or they both live happily then and after. And it's kind of, you've got a Shrek situation where they just choose to be Venom for the rest of their lives.
Lonely to the king and queen of the Venom world.
Yeah, that was it on Fourth Wing or Empyrean. She wouldn't confirm that any characters that are definitely surviving. Which I thought surely she could have said Jacinia, because we know Jacinia survives. But anyway. She was just so great. The other stuff that she went into was her plotting process, where it sounds insane. She really cares about plot. She puts herself in a room, she makes a playlist, she plots it all out on post-it notes, she puts them all in order of what's going to happen to make sure that she's like riding the enough action, enough romance, and if she's got a gap, she fills it.
Controlling the pace.
Yeah, exactly. And it just sounds such a fun process. She also did talk about some of the struggles that she's had in terms of like anxiety and dealing with the fact that Fourth Wing blew up. And obviously you probably do go through, as a writer, you like want to be discovered, don't you? And you want it, but then it blows up, and then all of a sudden someone finds out where you live and comes to your house, and like that's kind of the scary side of it. She said they had to move. She was really, really open and honest, and she just wants to share the story without us fans, without fans being weird. Yeah. And quite clearly she is working so hard. And I sometimes see this on her Instagram posts. People think it's okay. She's posting about her family or whatever, something different. People think it's okay to be like, great, now when's Onyx Storm coming? Like, why aren't you editing? I've seen people post, why aren't you editing? When she puts her... And I think they're joking, but it's just rude. It just comes out as rude. So, like, just be kind, please.
I don't care about your holiday. When is Onyx Storm?
But she didn't have a holiday. She said she'd been on... Just spent, I think, 40... I can't remember. She said she spent 14 or something days away with her family, and she worked every single day. And she said, I'm not even talking just a few hours every day. I was working 10 to 14 hours a day while all her family were on holiday. And she needs to get this book. She said it's final edits this week, so copy edits this week. And then she said it's going to print. And then she's going to sleep. And she's not answering when the next one's going to be out, which is good, like good for her. I know that we want it, but we're going to, on the 22nd of January, when we've read it, we'll be like, why did we read it so quickly? Now we have to wait however long. But she'll do it when she's ready. And just as a fandom, I don't think I like that word, but as fans of Rebecca Yarros and as Empyrean, we need to give her space and patience, because she has absolutely busted a gut for Onyx Storm.
Yes. Obviously, at the end of the day, it's work for her. She might enjoy it. It's one of the best feelings when you're building something that you sit there and you share it. But still work. You need to have that little balance between your life.
Yeah, but I don't think that's possible at that stage. When you've got a deadline, you've got pressure.
And it's not the only book, because I think she's writing other book in the meantime as well. So she just finished one and straight away start the other one. So she's still keeping that pace, and just like in the time that she started writing until it's publishing is insane for me. But yeah, if you're doing 10 to 14 hours every single day, that's what you get. But there's nobody
Yeah.
that can handle that.
But she does the same thing as you. She said, and I thought you'd find this really interesting. She said, just write a little bit every day. If you write a page a day, by the end of the year, you've got 365 pages. Like, just keep writing. And obviously that's how you...
Yes, what I do is just set at least, at least in my case, like a big number of words that I need to write every day. And then I was like, okay, I need to achieve that. But not always achieve that. Because for me, once I'm done, I'm like, okay, that's really good, actually.
Yeah.
That I didn't achieve it, but what I've done is really good and I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
So there's time when I do it, and then it's amazing. Sometimes you are in the zone, and then you do it.
Yeah.
But yes, it's more like build a habit that you need to write every single day, and that every single day and writing.
Yeah.
Just keep it.
She said when her husband was away on service, she would leave the laptop on the side, and she would just go and write a bit, and then she would look after the children, and then she would put the kids to bed, and she would leave the laptop on her pillow just in case he called, because she didn't know when he was going to get a chance to call.
Yeah.
And so the laptop was permanently there, so she could just write. But she wrote Iron Flame when Fourth Wing wasn't published yet, so there wasn't the pressure. Whereas now there's a lot of pressure, and there shouldn't be, and I think we just need to remember that. She's just human. She's an incredible human, and it blows my mind that all that imagination can come from one mind. But she's like so funny. She's just a really lovely person, a really normal person. And I don't know what normal is, but I was so privileged, I felt, to for her to come and spend an evening just chatting. I had the best time. Disappointed that you couldn't come in the end, but I did get a chance to meet some lovely people.
Hopefully next time when you come back talking about Onyx Storm or next book, I will be able to be there as well.
Yeah. And I want to say a special thanks to Steph and Nat for adopting me for the evening. It was really lovely to chat to them. So I think that's it. What we'll do is we'll share some audio, I think, and video this week of Rebecca talking. But hopefully that's been a bit interesting. I know that there wasn't anything massively new maybe, but the Yandana scene, the Segale being the one most likely to stab us in the back, the fact that Sawyer's got a major arc coming up. And
Red Arc, he's just not looking good.
Rest in peace, Riddick in peace.
Yeah, you've been warning, guys.
Yeah.
So don't take it personally when it happens in Onyx Storm, maybe.
Yeah. So we'll be back next week with chapters, I can't even remember, 9 to...
We were going back with Iron Flame.
I think it's chapter 9.
Yeah, we think it is 9 to
12.
12, yes.
Yes.
So we're coming back to normal. So we're coming back with 4 chapters at a time, deep dive in those chapters, talking a little bit, and maybe we can catch up new theories, new stuff that we haven't seen before.
Yes.
So, thank you for listening, Faithfully Fantasy.
The Husband and Wife podcast, talking all things Onyx Storm today. Or Rebecca Yarros.
Empyrean series, basically.
Talking all things Rebecca Yarros.
If you're not following us already, remember that we are Faithfully Fantasy Pod, where you can find a lot of funny stuff, theories,
well,
a little bit about
funny.
us. Yes, a little we laugh about it, so it can't be that bad. Also, we had a website where you can find every single episode of Faithfully Fantasy. You have more information about us. Everything that we're doing is going to be on the website. You have all the links for your favorite podcast app. So just remember it's www.faithfullyfantasy.com.
I'm going to add these notes to our website.
Okay, so you're going to find all the stuff that we've been talking today, you're going to see on the website as well. Hopefully, maybe we can share some of the videos.
Yeah, and the
we'll
audio.
see.
Yeah, let's
Yes,
do that.
so-
We can do that as reels, and we can put them on the website as well, I think.
Yes, so
Yeah.
everything for all the people that follow us.
Yeah. Thanks. See you next week.
Bye.